Good morning, everyone. I am your boy, Dark Bull Algo, and thanks for joining me on, guess what, another morning watches building session. That's right. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022, 32222, and the market is going crazy. ES ripping overnight. Oh my lord. Hold on one second. Yep, that's right. You heard it here first. The ES is doing what's called rip your face off. It is up approximately 30 points, which is pretty decent. We've got a little bit of news to get through. And Tesla's in the news. Yes. So let's get into it, shall we? All I ask in return is you make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. And if you haven't already, turn on notifications. That way you get notified anytime I start putting out videos. Fair warning, I will be putting out a lot more videos throughout the week. Okay. There are also a lot of big things happening in the FlowTrade sector. So you will start seeing a lot more information and a lot more posts and tweets concerned tagging FlowTrade, just because they, their new developers, amazing. So one other thing, I follow this dude on Twitter, and I swear he used to be a FlowTrade member, but now I think he's gone over to the dark side. Just trying to find some proof here. Anyway, let's get into it. First person up this morning gets a special prize. That's right. I'm just kidding. You don't really, but you should be here. Who am I waiting on? Oh no. Oh, I think maybe I'll get going off of that. Oh no. Oh, there it is. Sweet. Okay, let's do this, shall we? 10-set music, Q4 EPS, TME. They're trying to get back on a secondary listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, right? Don't know how well that's going to work out for them. They've been they're all over the place. Oh, guess what? Let's see how they look on the Flow Index. Yes, they're right. That is right. The Flow Index does track penny stocks after all. So all you people out there that want to talk about penny stocks with me, Flow Index tracks penny stocks. So we can start looking at that a little deeper if y'all want to. Okay. Bullish divergence. Look for a break above 470. Move up to 5. Right? Possibly 515. There you go. TME. Okay. All right. Okay. Okta, right? The shares are down 8%, y'all. No evidence of, said it has found no evidence of continuing malicious activity after hackers circulate images they said were out of the company's internal systems. The company said a series of screenshots circulated online appear to be connected to a security event in late January when the company had detected an attempt to compromise the account of a third-party consumer. Well, there you go. Higher lows and higher highs. 250-day smacking into it. If it can break above, right? If it can get back above, let's just say 160, 160.150. There's a move from 160.150 up to 165, 169. Okay, possibly 172. Bounce, right? Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Maybe a little bit of a chop right around this level here, right? The 50-day, 200-day is a big moving averages that most stocks are going to try to get a back up and over. Okay, baba, boom, increase its share repurchase. Oh, why do we keep missing this? I don't think it's ever going to hit 72 again. So we're coming up to the top of the 4 hours, top of the dailies, right? One pretty key significant level, right? 115-esque. Above 115, we have weekly mid, and it looks like we're finally getting back up into the bottom of the monthlies, right? The 200 day is the magnet for everything these days. So weekly, I don't think it's going to retest the weekly bottom, right? That would be pretty significant pullback to like 96. So momentum play, it already did a retracement. This thing may gap and go this morning, right? It may just gap and go. So I would target 125. Yeah, Baba 120, 125s. Let's look at those, shall we? I need to write this down. I have to start writing this stuff down. 120, 125 call. And then on the put side, we'll do 110. Okay. All right. All right, in. Sorry, I'm just kind of skimming through. All right, in consumer news, we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 or 4 stocks. MO, which is Altera, which is basically tobacco company, right? This is a staple for dividend investors. Dividend day coming up, right? This is the staple. They pay out a really, really high dividend. They're upgraded to buy from neutral at Goldman Sachs, raises the price target to 57.48 and sees a better relative risk reward for the tobacco company compared to Philip Morris, which was downgraded to neutral. Okay, so 51 to 53. They're not big movers, but their dividend is pretty good, right? 90 cent. They pay a 90-cent dividend, right? And that's a quarterly dividend, right? So in December they paid one, March they're paying one. So that's per share. So they're giving you almost $1 per share. If you buy 100 shares, right, that means that every time they have a dividend or an ex-dividend day, you get $90. If you drop that into a drip campaign, that means every 3 months you're reinvesting and buying 2 additional shares. Does that make sense? That's why MO is one of the best stocks to, that's right, use as a drip campaign. So, I mean, it's there's some social effects of that. Like, do you really want to own, big tobacco? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it ever gets down around 50-esque again, I'm gonna start loading the boat for my son's account, just because it's pretty consistent, right? But pretty decent earnings, pretty consistent, but that dividend is pretty good, right? I don't know when the ex-dividend day was or is. Does it show me here? Oh, okay. I guess not. So that would be fun to look up if we can figure out when the ex-dividend day is. That means that you have to own the shares by that day to get the dividend. So, all right. Tesla coming through. Today we'll hand the first Model Y cars made at its 4.4 billion gigafactory in Germany's growing height to consumers. Oh, Tesla, you're back, aren't you? Here we go. We're going to get 1321 crossover. We're stuffing the 127. We're at the daily 4-hour top. And there's nowhere to go but up for Tesla. Look for Retest of 938 for a move to 954. 975, I think, is the extent of it. I think that's where we hit, right? And then we get maybe some chopper. But we definitely missed that move on Tesla. That's for sure. Big gap and goes all the way. Look at this divergence. Well, not really. Yeah, it's getting set up to launch again. So let's keep an eye on it. Support is 914, 905. Yeah, support's 918 is support. Sorry. All right, Tesla 918 support for longs to these 971. Nike had earnings yesterday. Look at that. Rip your faces off. Just consistent. All the way up. Bull flag forming at the top of the dailies. Here we go. Go again. Let's go. Nike long above 139 for a move to 142, potentially 151. Q3 EPS 87 versus 71. Revenues up 5%, estimated 10.8 billion. Or excuse me, revenues 10.87 billion versus 10.59. North American revenues up 9%. China revenues up 2.16 billion. Gross margin 46%. That's crazy. Says marketplace demand continues to significantly exceed available inventory. That is because they brought back the Jordan 1 retros. Every single kid in the world wants those. So there you go. When you have a product that does not have enough supply to meet the demand, you are in control. Okay, Nike. There we go. In finance and world news, that's it. There's not a whole lot. So let's just get into. We have quite a few. Goldman Sachs Disruptive Technology Symposium looks pretty interesting. Don't know what's going to come out of that, but earnings after the close. Adobe has earnings today. Posh has earnings today, right? Before the bell, nothing that we really trade. 7:45 ICSC weekly retail sales, 8:55 Redbook weekly sales, and 10 o'clock Richmond Fed Index for March. None of that is, looks like Williams is speaking at 10:35. And Mester is speaking. So if they come out and kind of are similar to the tone of your boy of the Fed yesterday, I mean, just the market is. I don't want to say it, but I might have to say I think we're in a bullish cycle. U.S. equity futures and European stocks climb as markets continue to digest yesterday's hawkish comments from Powell regarding a possible 50 BPS hike in the upcoming meeting, which continues to push Treasury yields higher, with the benchmark yield hitting cyclical highs of 2.3565% and the shorter-term 2-year jumping 4 BPS to 2.175. That's interest rate. That's not good. Spread narrows to 18 BPS, while the yield on the 3, 5, and 7-year are all inverted against the 10-year. What does that mean? I have no clue. Powell said in comments about an obvious need to move expeditiously, rang loud for bond markets, but still not seeing any concern in equities. S&P once again approached the 200-day moving average of 44.71 after dipping only a few points yesterday following a massive 4-day rally for stocks. Oil's rally paused as the European Union weighed a possible ban on Russian crude imports. Meanwhile, the dollar advanced to its highest level in nearly a week, with a big spike against the yen hitting 6-year highs above 121. We'll get into that in a second. Bets on a 50 basis point hike at the Fed's May meeting jumped to 63.9% following Powell's speech, right? In Asian markets, the Nikkei index gained 1.48%. Go Bay. Go Nikkei index, my favorite index. The Shanghai index inched higher a few points. Hang Seng spiked 3.5, and in Europe, the DAX is up by almost 1%. FTC is up 0.55%. And then China markets got a boost after Alibaba announced it's boosted its share buyback plan. Yes, sir. We saw that earlier with the Baba moves. Okay. Oh, craziness. Crazy. Okay, so we'll get into let's do the futures real quick, and then we'll get into our bread and butter because I have an embarrassing announcement I have to admit to. Yes, you're right. You heard it here first. All right, let's look at what happened. Rip. I mean, we're testing that 200-day bull flag forming, trying to break up and over. 44.73 seems to be the point, right? This is a bull flag forming. Well, maybe not, right? We made a high, we made a higher high, we made a lower high, right? We're smack dab right in between the 50-day and the 200-day. What can happen here? Well, we can chop back and forth in these until we get enough upward momentum and volume coming in, right? Pretty decent volume yesterday, right? Definitely more volume than the previous 2 days. And for us to only end at a doji, right? It's interesting. So, I mean, I think they're still trying to decide if they're going to stuff it back down, right? Or if they're going to let it come up and begin its upward cycle, right? I personally would like to see a nice, healthy, juicy pullback to the 21, right? Does that mean we wait till the 21 rounds up to the 382 retracement from this high to the low, right? And then we get that pullback? Or are they just going to rip it and try to yank the 21-day up through the 50? Okay. If today is anything like yesterday, right, then we'll get a little dip and then a rip, right? And then this is a weird looking bull flag breakout here. Very, very interesting, right? We do have a 127 at 44, 8250. We get some confluence of the 50% retracement. 141 at 4510. 4500 is still the target. Psychological magnet being pulled up. 21200 crossover yesterday occurred. Yesterday morning, right as the open, looking to drag the 50-day up. We get a 4-hour 5200 crossover, then we're going to explode. That's why I think a pullback needs to happen now, so that when we get to this point here, right, probably today at some point, right? Let me just draw a trajectory line, shall we? And if we draw an intersecting point, we're looking at about at the close, right? The close will get the crossover, so we get a pull down. Like if we can pull it down, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to switch to being like full on bullish because we're still in indecision. Like, in my opinion, like that's a big drop, right? Big dip to rip. Okay, stack positive on the 30. We're really fighting to get some separation on the 2150. All right, we get that separation here. We get just a rally up. So tools that I would use for this would be monitor FlowTrade SPY, look at like a slow stochastic, and potentially definitely use some MACDs. Okay. All right, that was the ES checking in on the NQ. Looking at the NQ, well, there it is. All right, we follow that trajectory. We're really smacking into this 200-day big old nasty bull flag forming. I mean, it's nasty in a good way, right? When this pops, so remind me to look at a squeeze pro on a daily. When this pops, we're gonna, I mean, this is a 50-day, not the 200 on, right? The NASDAQ 50-day. When this pops, we're gonna go tree line to snow line, rip, dip, 14,500 to 15,000. It's going to be a 500-point move. It's going to be magnificent, right? If this fails and we come back and test, right? If we get a 618 retracement from this rally that we're in now, right? So from this low to this high, 618 retracement is right at the 21-day. A pullback to here would be healthy for a longer term move to the upside. What are they doing with this here, right? All right. That was the key level. I mean, they did drop it, but not as much as I thought they were going to do it. They maintained this trend line. They're still maintaining this trend line. This tree line is your overhead resistance, 1440. Well, we broke over that. I don't know. Hold on. 14,450-esque is this level, right? So above that, I mean, I think we're going to start getting some magnets to the upside. I like this 14,800 level. Lots of confluence there, right? We have, 127. We got a 50% retracement. There's also a skyline there. So initial target 14,679 or 14,676 on the break and close above 14,442. Let's just call it 14,450. Okay. Contrarian, we break this trend line. We have a 21-day. We're just riding the 21-day up. We could dip down pretty easily if for some reason we back test 14,100, pull back to the 200-day on the 4-hour. That's just the ultimate support. If we hold that, then it's like, oh, let's grab some longer term QQQ calls for shizzle. Okay. The RLX, I've never heard of RLX, Johnny. Okay. Okay, moving on. The Dilly Dally Daily Dow is doing a pretty good job, right? I mean, y'all can notice it's the same theme, kind of a bull flag all around, right? We would look to overtake previous highs 34,700, quick pop up to 34,884, which is testing the 200-day. If we can get above that, then we would look to attack the snow line up here, right? Now, keep in mind, again, a pullback to the 21 is what I feel like we need, right? So let's fail this breakout. Let's get a pullback to retest this 21, right? Maybe the 21 needs another day or two to marinate, right? A little pullback, a little test, a little crossover, right? It's going to need all its strength and conviction to get above that 200-day, right? Up and close, we got to hold, right? Failure, just not enough strength, right? We're starting to get some of these things curling around, momentum going upward, right? Nice 21, right? Look at this nice move right here. 21 200 crossover. We're going to get a 50 200 crossover at probably going to occur at 39,000 or 34,000 esque, right on the dot. $35 142 is my confluence level. All right, bringing it down to 30-minute. It's melting up, right? There's right, big old rip and dip and dip, right? We finally got, what happened here? Right off the 618. Now we're back testing that snow line or that skyline. Next skyline up, our next major level is way up here, 35,420. So if we pull back to 34,500, find that as support, ride the wave up. Let's find some stocks in the Dow. Is snow in the Dow? I think it is. That would be a good homework assignment. What are some of the top weighted Dow stocks? We would need to look into that. Okay. All right. And then the red-headed Russell. Is it being predictable? Is it following the Wyckoff formula? Well, we had a move up. We are pulling back, right? Like I said, if we can get, that pullback there to the 50-day, this blue trend line support, definitely see a large move. Okay, I'll look at RLX. Large move back up to the snow line. I can't in good conscience call this a bull flag because it's more of a rounding. Like there is some rounding to this, some rounding happening here, right? Regardless, support at 2053, 2040, and then whatever this 200-day is, or the 50-day, right? Where's the 200-day on this sucker? Oh, way up here. We haven't even begun to test it. So we're looking for that 2150 crossover, 2114, 2172, right? Some of those moves back up there, right? Little nice, clean inverse head and shoulders, right? Yes, it is. I know you don't believe me, but it is, I promise you. All right, kind of following our move here. Let me get this out of the way because I think, there we go, that's a little better. Getting a 5200 crossover on the 30-minute, right? 2086 overhead resistance. I like this magnet at 2100, right? 2100, 2116. So a move from here to here, breakout above 2086. We get a move to 2114, taking profit at 2100. Right? We reject this. We can consolidate and chop here. Let's just say below. There we go. I think that's the move there. I still like 2114 here. I think that's a little bit better measured move. All right, 127 extension. Follow that trend line up. Right, from a 30-minute perspective. Did I say follow that trend line up? I did. All right, let's look at this from the 30. Yeah, that's it. There it is. When in doubt, when in doubt, fib it out, right? It's just hitting all the key levels. We got a crossover on the 30. We're pulling back, holding support. Retested 21. Ride that trend line all the way up to 20. All the way up to 2085. Should I melt it all the way up? All right, there it is. That's the move. Up and back, up and back. Big pop out of this, right? Big old giant wedge forming, right? Looks like tomorrow may be the day of decision. All right. All right, looking at gold. How am I doing on time? I need to hurry up just a little bit. All right, so gold. Is the rally officially over, or are we just consolidating here? It's tough because it hasn't, like, we had to close above, we have to close at the 21, below the 21, right? We're trying to fight back up above it, right? 1940 seems to be a pretty significant level. We have a 5200 that's positive, but this daily 21 is really causing us some grief, right? I'm looking at, all right, so that's a close 50% above it, 50% above it, one below it. Yesterday we closed below it, first day. We get one more day below it, then what do? Right, we look at a move back down to the 50-day, okay? Failure, rejection, 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 right? This, we're right in the 200 days, so it has to, right? It's going to have to start making some decisions as this 21 gets closer to this 50-day. So maybe another day or two, maybe out until next week before we get another rally into gold, right? So if that's the case, right? I wonder if that's valid. That could be a valid breakout. Okay. I'm going to give gold a couple more days. I think we'll get a more clear direction after the 28th, right? So just kind of let that chop around. Is this a head and shoulders? We'll find out. We will get a retest to the 21 or the 50-day or 200-day soon. Okay, that was gold. Checking out crude futures. Crude futures, look at that big rip. So what happened? We came down, we double tapped this. That's an optical illusion. Why is that crooked? How is that crooked? I didn't even know you could make crooked boxes. Anyway, big rip, right? Double tap, Wu-Tang reversal, right? 1, 2, 3, Wu reversal. Okay. This is a good example of it. If y'all don't know what it is, let me just draw it real quick for you because I will be talking about this a lot more. We get a down, right? It looks like a W, right? And then we go long above the 2 spot for that move. Catch that move right there, right? Catch this move or this move, preferably this one. That's easy peasy money. Okay. So what happened? Well, let's see. From this low to this high, we have a retracement down to the 382, rejected the 618. Oh, we're going to have a down cycle move. All right. If we run a fib from here to this move, that'll give us an extension. That'll give us where's it going now. So from low to high, back down to low. Pulling back to at least 105, more likely 103.97, 104, right? Get some moves down to here. That would be a healthy move to the upside. See what it did here? It rallied up, retrace, rally up, retrace. We can come all the way down sorry, we can't go down this low, but we could come down to 106 area, or this 50% retracement here holds, okay? I think it's just going to continue to make its moves up. I would get worried about crude to the downside if we retest 104 again. Retest of 104, I think, fails, and we've got this big old nasty looking demand zone down here acting as a magnet. Right, clean bounce off that trend line, right, out of this trading zone here, right out to 50-day, right? I think we get another move down. I should put my moving averages up on this chart, shouldn't I? You're right, I should, but I'm not going to. All right, bonds, TLT failure. We have a snow line down here at 147. I think that's going to be the downside target. So look at some TLT puts if you want, right? And then finally the yen. Remember, we heard that story about the dollar and the yen. That's that drip. That failure that we like to see. Separation, negatively stacked moving averages. This is bullish for the market. Okay, right. Remember back last week where this was moving up and the market was falling down. This is a big old drop, right, in the last 2 days. Plus, we've got that separation. Whew. I think we see. Right, I think we see some moves. Newer lower lows. That's right. Let's go, people. All right, that's it. What did I do? How did I get to there? So the 30-minute is my guide, right? 15 or 30-minute chart. See this rounding right here? This rounding is happening on the daily as well. So whatever, like, if you want to see what a rounding top looks like, you're going to get some definite pullback. I think we're safe as long as we stay above the 30-minute. I don't know. I wouldn't say the 50-day because this is closes below the 50-day, right? I would be bearish on this, but we would have got played out. So it's rounded top. This is, I don't know. This is a nice move, right? This is a nice move. That's a choppy move. This is a choppy move. Choppy, 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 chop. Okay. All right. That's it for the futures. Real quick, we're going to run through our bread and butter stocks, and I have a story to tell you. All right. Well, there's Apple. All right. Apple's doing its job. Okay. So 2 closes above the 21. We're retesting the 50-day right now. Okay. 168.75, right? Target 1. I think that's where we get to. I don't know if they're going to defend it much above that. Maybe to 168, 169, right? Contrarian, we reject, right? We reject 166.53. Remember, that's the level I called out yesterday. We do have this slingshot squeeze getting ready to happen on the daily, right? This is gorgeous. On any pullback to the 21, on any dip to 163, 162, any pullback to retest previous resistance. I don't know. Let me look at this on the 4-hour. I like Apple long to 170, 172, right? There's that wedge breakout that we've been looking for, right? But this candle is not my favorite candle. We did have the histogram cross over, and the squeeze is just about played out. So from a daily perspective, we are at the one, we're at the high, right? I'd like a pullback on Apple. I really would. I would like just a little one, right? Just enough to set up for the daily squeeze to release. Not even, it doesn't even have to be a close. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I mean, maybe it did confirm. It ripped up, it back tested it, it confirmed support. It's coming back up, right? It's really hard for computers to defend above this red line. That's where the squeeze comes into play, right? So on a 30-minute chart, a flush of the open to 163 would be fantastic. Maybe we already had it. Maybe that is the move, up and back, right? Yeah, I'm like a 167, 168. I don't think we get much above that. Okay, so on any dips on Apple that maintains this nice trend line that we've got going on here, I'm going to be a buyer. Let's look at it at 15-minute. Maybe that gives us a little bit more. Is this a daily? Please tell me that's a daily. There we go. They defended it. They're going to defend it again. Yeah, any pullback, I'm going to look to get into it. All right, next up on the list. Sorry, I just had to look at that a little bit deeper. All right, look at AMD. AMD broke out of its red overhead, like this big old wedge that you see everybody on Twitter is posting. Oh, look at the wedge breakout. Okay, yeah, that's happening. But more importantly, look at the 2150 stack positive moving averages. I don't like this type of move, right? Yes, we ripped out of it. We back tested it, found, confirmed support of the 50-day. But that 2150 being so close to that, I like separation, right? I like big separation means big moves, right? Really close moving averages is choppy moves, right? I guess quant levels on this would make sense as well. Understanding what, there we go. Understanding what the market's trying to do. All right, we got a 50-day test. 118. $118.45, 119.59 is the tree line target. If this is the move we get here, right, above from tree line to snow line, that would be a good move to capture. Safe move, I mean, you could definitely look at a move up to this tree line. Any dip back to 117, right, for support, or even back tests in the 200-day. We're going to get what happens when this 50-day hits this 200-day. Do we get a bounce? Looks looking that way. So I'm liking 125s, like 120s. The safe, I mean, if you wanted to play the safe move, you'd wait for a daily close above the 50-day, 2 closes on the daily above the 50, run a fib extension out from that, target 125, 128, 133, right? We could very easily reject here, back test, right? It could get real bad for AMD. Earnings coming up, rallying to earnings. This is still pointed down, okay? Let's not get it twisted. This 50-day is still pointed down, right? There's thoughts of shorting this level because it really hasn't got above its 221. Let's look at it on a 4-hour chart, right? 130.50 is a 200. Right. 119, 21, 22, 24. I would like a move back to 112.50. Okay. That's a pretty significant trend line right there. There it is. Come on. 30-minute chart looks good. We do have some resistance at 116.46. Right. We can get some close above that. I like the snowline 120 target. Just melt up on that sucker. Probably hit that by the end of the week. 120. Nice target. AMD. All right, next up. Yes, it's Boeing. I traded Boeing yesterday. Okay, now hear me out. I'm a little sad Laz isn't here for this, so hear me out. I couldn't ignore the news of the plane crash, right? I couldn't ignore, the failure, the negatively stacked moving averages. It is holding its trend, right? Yes, I bought a put, right? It's not like I went long on it, right? Big dip down, held its trend line, right? Trying to work its way back up to retest to 21,189. What I'd like to see, fill this gap up and then come back down, right? There's a pretty significant supply zone in here that we're in right now. Yeah, I got the 180 puts, right? So I'd like it to maybe fail. Look at the volume on that though. Big volume came in yesterday. So lack of volume today could be a magnet down. Yes, I know. Listen, maybe every once in a while I need to remind myself why I don't do certain things. And maybe this is the reason. Okay. Anyway, that's Boeing. 30-minute, right? It's trying to fill the gap, but I'm sad. So this is a 200-day. It's holding, right? It's going to retest to 21. I'd love for it to fail below the 200, and then like really make a big move. Like it can just come down. I don't know. I don't know, man. I probably should have went long, but I went short. I won't go long on Boeing. I'll go short on it. Anyway, let's get off of that subject. Okay. Nvidia with the strength, right? This is just a monster. Held to 21. Let's show it from a daily. Nvidia's a monster. I don't have time. All right, right up to the fire line. This is today's candle, right? This is the 20. Oh, wait, what? How is? Do I not have? Hold on. Oh, that's gonna. Am I sad? All right, let's see if this helps anything. All right, yep, there we go. I mean, this market is so bullish right now. It's maintaining like trend line support is the deal. Excuse me. Y'all saw me turn that on, didn't you? Extended hours. You saw me turn extended at hours on, right? I did it. I don't know why it's not holding. All right, maybe. Okay, there we go. All right, Nvidia. 263 support below that. I think we backtest 252, 247. I don't know. This is volume, strength, momentum. I need to confirm this because if this is really a doji, right? Spinning top. What do they call it? Hold on. Sorry, I gotta look at something here real quick. If this is a spinning top, is that what it's called? I think that's a reversal pattern, right? 263. And 264.50 support. We break down below that. I think we back test 253, 249. That would be a healthy pullback, setting up for a larger rip. Also, this looks very wick-off-ish to me as well. From an outside perspective, it could definitely be. We could definitely make the case for, right? We could make the case for the Wu-Tang reversal, right? Nvidia. Let's go. I had the 270. All right, so I'm gonna look real hard at these 253 puts, right? And I had the 280 calls yesterday. Those are gorgeous. 280, 290 calls. That vertical. If you go out a couple weeks, like out into April, and get that 280, 290 vertical, right? End of April, 280, 290 vertical should pay, right? Pay pretty well. And that counts for some back and forth, right? All right, moving on. Tesseract. Well, Tesla did a thing. We got up above the 200-day moving average. Snow line. There's two snow lines, right? I don't think are those snow lines? Right at the top of the supply zone. We did have a 50-day 200 cross down, so look for the 50 to curl back up and around, or we get a pretty nasty pullback on Tesla. So let's say we do a fib level from there to there, from here to here. That level just lines up too perfectly. Let's do this. Tesla below 901, 872, 860, 850. Healthy pullback for the next rip, right? Tesla above 948. Quick move to 970 and then 1,000. 1010. So I'd like a pullback, right, to 900. Below below 890, then we have downside magnet to here, retest. Yeah, I like it. So yes, keep an eye on Tesla. All right, SPY. How am I doing on time? Sorry, I ran over. All right, daily on SPY. Right there, you see what I see? Yes, it is a doji for the 21st of March. Right at the 200-day. Is this a pullback getting ready to happen? Do we get a pullback today? I think so. You can set an alert for 446.50, right? Above that, 450 incoming, and then there's this zone to 456. I think we might get a nice pullback today, right? At least I would like a pullback. Like to get back in. Interesting. We ended on an uptick. All right. So pullback, I think that gives us the strength and momentum to get back above, right? The 200. And the QQQ, the same as NQ, hitting the 50-day, this tree line, right? Resistance. I like a pullback to the 21 for support, right? 338, right? Let's just call it 339. Pull back to 339 for another attempt up to 366, right? So the 350 calls, 366 calls. Give yourself some time. Expect a pullback, and then working its way back up, right? So maybe middle of April, retest 368 on the Qs, okay? And then the SPX, right? Dojiing out, okay. All right, I'm sorry I took so long on that. Jeez. Let's get into your plays real quick. You want to look at PayPal. You heard Nike with their big old move yesterday. Microsoft. Gosh, I didn't give myself enough time, dude. I really got to do a better job of that. Ooh, RLX. I like it. Look for the wedge breakout on RLX. We've got flow index making higher lows and higher highs. So above 225, we go 240, 245, right? And then there's that zone up to 257, right? Above 257, it's an easy move from 257 to 285. But I would look at the initial move, 225 to 245. 225 to 245. Nice bullish divergence that needs to play out. That's RLX. PayPal, flow index, micro divergences have played out. All right, trade with price, a little bit of divergence, right? A little micro divergence to consolidation. Below 111.75. We hit 107. This is a bull flag, so look for that breakout. Look for the flow index to make a higher high, right? It's trend lining, a little inverse head, little cup and handle type thing at previous resistance. So watch the flow index at the 101 level. If it gets above it, I think we can continue to pull PayPal up. Microsoft bearish divergence, y'all. Like, this is not a joke. This divergence will need to play out, right? This micro has played out, so you know it's still bearish. Failed Wu-Tang reversal, right? Falling wedge or falling channel. Yeah, I'd be bearish on Microsoft. So if Microsoft can't overtake 300, I think we get a pullback to $294. Okay, Nike. trading with flow index, right? Flow index trading with price action. And the flow index is making higher lows and higher highs. It's really subtle consolidation here, right? So Nike need above 131.50 for the next move up. Look for failure. Look for a move back to 127, and then regular block supports at 125. Okay. Okay. Sorry. All right, Andrea, there's SPY, SLX, Michael, Delta, AVGR. All right, I don't know what SLX is, but it looks really good. I like that big move up. There's no blocks, right? I'm hard pressed to find any blocks, so this is just a pure net buying play. I don't know what SLX is or does, right? But it does respect the gap fill, so eventually there's going to be a pullback. So watch the flow index when that bearish divergence, when they start getting out of this position. You could look at 64, look at some 65 puts. But yeah, this is a big old, they call it a money line. That means a lot of smart money comes in at the same time and does the same type of order. Okay. Look at your, just do some fib levels, right? I don't know where the 1414 would be, but I think it'd be someplace close to 70. So looking for 70 on SLX, Michael. SPY, right? This is the flow index is making a bull flag, right? But it's also making a series of lower lows. Okay. So most of this bullish divergence is played out already. I still like this block down here to 436 that needs to be filled. Way down from back on the 17th, it hasn't been filled yet. And the flow index continues to make lower lows and lower highs, right? Got additional little micro divergences. So I would say reject 444, come back down 441, and then finally 435. Okay. Delta Airlines, white line at 3609, support at 3550. Below that, I think we gap fill back down to about 31. The flow index, net selling, you can see the divergence here, right? Right, see the divergence, play the divergence. Like a lot of it's played out. I don't know if it gap fills back to 32. It very well could. Right? They're selling out. Delta above 30. of 36.25 to 37, reject it, and then bearish divergence plays out. All right, what did I miss? BA, bearish divergence, has a little bat wing ears. Okay, I got to run AVGR. So, yeah, big influx of capital, right? Some profit taking here, right? And then flow index trading with price action on AVGR. I would, if the flow index breaks its upward trend line support, right? Then, right, as long as the flow index makes a series of higher lows and higher highs, you're going to be okay. I'm looking at a potential bull flag breakout here, right? So above 4, you get a big old pop, but I think the flow index is moving with you, right? Watch for what happens here. If the flow index makes a new high, I think that this bull flag pops out to the upside. Trendline support break failure, then grab your fib level to the downside. Okay, and Neo. Yes, I missed this opportunity. I'm kicking myself. I don't think Neo ever sees $13 again. Okay, this is kind of forming a little bit of a rounding top, right? The flow index is definitely looking at a wedge, right? If this breaks out, that would create bearish divergence. So Neo white line at 2025. There's a gap fill down to 1882. Look for that breakout. I need to buy some Neo shares today. All right, I got to run. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dark Bull Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday. I went over, and that is breaking one of my trading rules for the day. So hopefully we'll make up for it. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay green, and make sure you like the video.